Kyle and I are driving back from SoCal to NorCal, and we are talking about what it means to be a fitness person, or what a fitness journey should or should not look like, or the standards by which we measure ourselves and the instruments that we use to measure the worth of our journey in fitness. A couple days ago, I posted a photo from a photo shoot that I had done with Brandon Blurtz. I'm just gonna really quickly read that status, and then I just wanna give some thoughts on my experience in fitness and some of the things that I see that are, kind of popular mentalities to have in the fitness industry. A lot of people wanna be the best. That's me academically, but not me in sports. I don't have the drive or dedication some competitors in bodybuilding or powerlifting do. I'm never going to be the strongest, the leanest, get a pro card, or compete at nationals. And that's not an excuse. It's a reality, because I love academia and knowledge and invest my time in those things way more. Being the best physically is not why I do this. Yes, I love fitness because I get to push my body, but really, I love it because I get to watch the gradual physical changes coincide with more dramatic mental and spiritual changes within me. So much of what you see in the fitness industry is physical. To play the game right, you might think that you have to compete, and what's more, win. I'm telling you here that those goals are not right for everyone, or even most people. You don't have to compete. Get stage lean, do a photo shoot, win a meet, or PR all the time to have a journey that you can be proud of. They are all just perks. I wanted to read one of my favorite comments that someone had responded to. I'll read two of them actually. So Nat Cam Wolf, she responded and said that her bae and her, they had just watched this documentary called Bigger, Stronger, Faster by Chris Bell. I think it's on Netflix, right? I think we watched it. And she said, we were discussing this very issue. We have a friend who told us that he'd only do a powerlifting competition if he was going to qualify for nationals. Ultimately, through discussion, my partner and I realized that we both prioritize our academic goals over our fitness pursuits. We lift because we want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and we view competing as a way to evaluate our personal progress, rather than viewing it as a measure of our worth. And then another commenter, Joyce, with a bunch of Y's, she said, this is a nice reminder that even someone who is a Fitspo influencer has other priorities, and that it's not an excuse for not being the best, but a conscious choice to aim to be the best in a different arena. With social media, it can be easy to try and hold oneself to impossible or improbable standards. So this is a really nice reminder that you can choose to not be aesthetic with fitness, but still be engaged and love it. Okay, so some of my thoughts. Something that I actually just brought up to Kyle was this. I've just started recently vlogging again and making these videos here on YouTube. And I'm not documenting the road to a competition. I'm not documenting the road to a powerlifting meet or to any sort of end goal. And my whole life, I've sort of been on a line that has led me toward multiple end goals. Graduating college, going to grad school, graduating grad school, getting a job at a university. And I'm at this point in my life now where I really kind of just want to be happy maintaining and being in the moment. I think a lot of this sort of overlaps with my desire to do intuitive eating now and to sort of eat at maintenance, no longer cut or bulk or whatever, to just kind of be happy sitting where I'm at. And I think that the fitness industry very much perpetuates a mentality of constantly seeking something else. What is your next competition? What is your next goal? What is your next kind of pursuit? And I think, for me at least, my pursuit right now is to really be happy sitting here and embracing this moment. But since I am a vlogger here, is that engaging content? Maybe to some people to see kind of the day in the life, But I wonder, if I'm not documenting something or the progress or the journey, is my progress and my journey still important if it doesn't necessarily have an end goal? And I think another thing that feeds into this idea of sort of documenting something that doesn't have an end goal is, why document it at all? Does it just feed back into this narcissism or this idea that I am the hero in my own journey and I am the center of attention? I don't know. This is something that I guess doesn't have an easy answer and that I am mulling over. But it goes beyond just documenting. And for people who don't put a lot of their sort of fitness life on social media, but rather follow a lot of people who do, I hear these concerns from people saying, for a long time I thought that the entire goal of fitness was to get lean or to compete or to do a show, to PR, to be the strongest person in the room, right? When maybe one of the best goals to have is to just pursue health and fitness in the long term for you. And that can also be just as valid of a goal as wanting a pro card and competing at the Olympia, or getting a master's total or an elite total and winning rum. So I think the reason I wanted to make this video is because I am of the belief that a lot of the goals and the standards that people hold themselves to in the industry have been constructed for you. This is obviously a part of critical theory. We talk about deconstruction and schemas of understanding all the time. Most of the world around you and the schemas that you have been constructed for you. And it's your job as a good critical thinker and as someone who is interested in deconstruction to break those things apart so that you can rebuild up new mentalities that kind of fit you better. There is no absolute truth, right? There is no, though simultaneous truths can exist, right? Here's my truth and here's your truth, and they're both valid, right? I believe in maintaining right now and that being a valid goal, while someone else sees them pursuing a pro card and being able to compete at the Olympia or winning the Olympia someday. That's just as valid of a goal and just as valid as a truth. But they can exist simultaneously. One does not negate the other. But I do think it is important for us to begin to recognize that only having one standard or one truth, one standard by which to measure ourselves, and only a couple instruments by which to get to that goal, those things are problematic, and we can break those things apart. Again, that's something that is probably easier said than done, because if you are part of the fitness industry or you follow people online and all you see all the time is stage lean bodies and you see really strong people that are inspirational to you, and rightfully so, then it's difficult trying to measure your own journey, which, I'm not nearly as strong as them, or I don't have the muscles they do, or I'm not nearly as lean as them. It's impossible to not begin to compare yourself to those people. And I'm not here to make a video saying, stop comparing yourself to other people. No, that's impossible. You live in this society and you need to accept the fact that you're going to, right? You cannot control the fact that you will compare yourself to other people and their capacities and their strengths and abilities. But what you can control is your reaction to those comparisons. So those of you who follow me or know me well know that one of my favorite anagrams is ACT. You accept, you contextualize, and then you talk through to therapy, aka you talk through to a solution. So I think the things that we've done so far is we've accepted that there are some problematic standards by which we hold ourselves to. And we've contextualized those things by saying, they're perpetuated by the fitness industry and sort of senses of comparison between ourselves and other people that we see on the daily. So what are some solutions? And one of the things that I've suggested is a solution is not saying, stop comparing yourself. No, that's not a solution. But I do think that a solution can start with, instead of constantly asking yourself what you think about yourself or what you want to do next, you should start asking the questions why and how. Why do I want to lose 5 pounds instead of I want to lose 5 pounds? It's a great goal to have. You will feel better about yourself maybe in your clothes, or you will have a goal to set for yourself that you can accomplish and feel great about that. But something that you should start to ask yourself is, why do I want to lose 5 pounds? Do I want to lose 5 pounds because I think it'll actually make me love myself more? Do I want to lose 5 pounds because I think that other people will like me more if I lose 5 pounds? I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be liked and you know, finding sort of validation out of accomplishing a goal. But it is an important thing to start to question the decisions that you're making, because your decisions don't exist in a vacuum. You don't just randomly wake up one day and decide, oh, I want to dye my hair blonde. No, you were probably influenced to dye your hair blonde. I mean, why do I have ombre in my hair? Well, because I saw ombre all over social media and I saw girls with ombre hair and I really liked it. It wasn't just a decision that came out of me one day. Like I woke up and I was born to have ombre hair. No, right? It's sort of like inception. It was implanted in you and you were influenced. And there's nothing wrong with me having ombre hair. I have ombre hair, I like it, right? But that, you know, is a very superficial example compared to sometimes when we're like, I want to get stage lean. Well, why do you want to get stage lean? Because you see a lot of other people who are popular on social media getting stage lean, and you think that your popularity will then increase or that you will be a better person. Something that I always say is a leaner you is not a better you. It's just a different you. So can you get lean and still be happy sort of with that process? Sure, but that requires good critical thinking. It requires you to stop just thinking about what you're doing and start thinking about why you're doing it and how you're doing it. I think another great solution would be to start to journal and externalize a lot of the whats, the hows, the whys that you feel about yourself the way that you do. We don't write to be understood. We write to understand. Until we put things down on paper, it's all a bunch of hand waving. So until I sort of externalize this out into a vlog, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, then I'm just kind of gonna sit around these ideas in my head. And that's why I wanted to share this with you guys, because these are things that I think a lot of people think about, but they don't have maybe the language to articulate it, or they don't know how to express these thoughts that they have inside. So start to journal, start to externalize these thoughts down on paper, and you'll become much more aware of who you are as a person and the thought processes that you're going through. When it comes to goal setting, you can still have those same goals to compete or to become a national competitor on a powerlifting platform, or whatever you want to do to build bigger delts, to build rounder glutes. All those things are absolutely great goals to have. But do also recognize that in addition to physical goals of leanness or strength, you can also have personal goals. You can also have goals where you are focused on building a better you internally. I'm definitely of the belief that our sort of outward transformations reveal inward transformations, or they are just manifestations of inward transformations. So once you can become more aware of who you are as a person internally, I think that maybe your goals externally will change. I truly believe that's why a lot of my goals no longer focus around being super lean or competing or holding myself to this standard and feeling like I'm constantly a failure because I can't get as lean as the other girls that I see, or I just don't really have the desire to. And that my desire to just live a lifestyle of being healthy, of being fit, of living an everyday lifestyle, being that way, and not necessarily having some sort of end goal. I think that me being able to kind of rest in that and sit in that and be happy with that has shown me that this is just as valid of a long-term goal as anything else. So I hope that a lot of you enjoyed this vlog. It's something that I've actually been thinking about for a while, and if you'd like to see more vlogs like this where I sort of just talk about stuff, will you give this a thumbs up, or will you leave me a comment down below about other possible topics you'd like me to talk about? Non-physical topics, maybe more like mental, spiritual topics like that. Again, I hope that you guys like these vlogs. I don't know if it's gonna be as engaging as the other content of documenting progress over the course of time towards an end goal, but I really just want to be able to show who I am as a normal person living a fit lifestyle, and show you that these types of goals of long-term sustainability or long-term fitness are just as valid as having an end goal. And Kyle, do you want to say anything?
Sad, dude.
Bye.